Hi, I'm Eric from Kibsi, and welcome to our Getting Started series. In this video, we're going to build a simple Hello World application to get you familiar with the Kibsi computer vision platform from end to end. In the Hello World app that we'll build today, let's take some video of a crosswalk at a busy intersection and build a Kibsi application that will turn that video into structured data about the crosswalk and the pedestrians that are using it. Before we get started, you're going to need a Kibsi account. You can register for a trial account at kibsi.com. Once you have access to your account, go ahead and log into the platform. Once you're logged in, we're ready to get started building our first application. Go ahead and click Create Application. Name the application Crosswalk Monitor and give it a brief description. Then click Create to open up the app designer. For our Crosswalk app, the data we care about is around pedestrians and crosswalks, so we'll need to create items for each. For a crosswalk, we can use a static item, since we'll always know where a crosswalk is positioned in the stream. So click on Static Item, name it Crosswalk, and hit Save. Now, unlike Crosswalk, we don't know when or where our pedestrians will show up, so we'll use a detected item to identify our pedestrians. To do this, click on the Add Item icon, choose Detected Item, name it Pedestrian, then search the library of pre-trained detectors for the person detector. Select it and click Next. Note that the Kibsi person detector has enhancers to capture data like age, gender, and even if the person is wearing personal protective equipment. But for our Crosswalk app, we can just accept the defaults and click Save. Now we have items for the two types of data that we care about, pedestrians and crosswalks. But we also want to know, when is a pedestrian actually using the crosswalk? To do this, let's create a relationship between the pedestrian and crosswalk items. On the pedestrian item, click the plus icon to add a new attribute. Choose Relationship, name it In Crosswalk, choose the crosswalk as the target of the relationship, choose Proximity, and click Next. For evaluation position, choose Bottom, and then click Save. Now, even though our app will detect the entire person, we specified bottom in this case to tell our app that the edge beneath the person's feet should be used to determine if they're actually inside the crosswalk. Now, there's only one data point still missing from our app, and that is, what is the count of pedestrians using the crosswalk? To capture this data, click the plus icon on the crosswalk item to add a new attribute. Choose Count, name our attribute Pedestrian Count, target the relationship we just created, click Add Filter, then under the JavaScript tab, add the filter expression, which you can copy from the video description. And don't worry, we'll cover expressions in more detail in a later Getting Started video. Next, click Save Expression. Then configure our counter to determine the number of items within a time interval of 60 seconds and click Save. And that's it. Now our Kibsi application has everything it needs to transform our video stream into exactly the data we want to see. So next, we want to publish our application. To do this, click Publish New. Provide some quick notes about this version and click Save. Now, let's create a site where we can deploy our application. In the upper right, click on Sites, then click the plus icon to create a new site. For our Hello World application, we'll be using a video of a crosswalk located in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. So we'll name our site Jackson Hole, choose Mountain Time Zone, and click Create. Now let's create our first camera stream. Kibsi works with a wide variety of streams for IP security cameras, RTSP streams, live video streams, recorded video, and many other streaming sources. But for our Hello World app today, we provided links you can use in the description below for both the recorded stream and a snapshot image, so you can reproduce exactly the same deployment and see exactly the same data in your Kibsi application. So let's click Create Stream. Name our stream Town Square, since that's where our camera is located. Provide the URL from the video description below, click Next, upload the snapshot image provided, and then click Create. Now we're ready to create our deployment. To do this, click on the Deployments icon in the upper right, click the plus icon to add a new deployment, choose our Crosswalk Monitor application, and click Create. Next, click Configure Deployment. Choose version 1 of our app that we published earlier, click Next Step. Choose our Town Square video stream, click Next Step. Leave the number of crosswalk static items at the default value of 1, and click Create. Name the static region West Broadway, since that's the street our crosswalk sits on. Click Draw Region. Now, using the lines of our crosswalk as a reference, go ahead and draw the static region for our crosswalk and click Close. Finally, click Launch and Continue to launch our Kibsi application to the Town Square stream. Now, behind the scenes, Kibsi is deploying all the infrastructure needed to host your vision application and start streaming your data. And this process usually takes about 2 minutes. You'll know your application is running when you start to see crosswalk and pedestrian data flowing into the live data view. Spend a moment here toggling back and forth between the crosswalk and pedestrian views to get a feel for how the data comes in. Notice that the pedestrian view shows us every pedestrian detected in our stream, and that the crosswalk view shows us current count of pedestrians in the crosswalk, as well as unique min and max values, all updated in real time. Now go ahead and click the video stream button and click the show detections checkbox. After just a few moments, we'll have our first pedestrian crossing the crosswalk. Notice how the current value changes to 1 as soon as our pedestrian steps into the crosswalk. And the other crosswalk don't show up in our pedestrian count. That's because we didn't configure a second static region for this crosswalk, but we'll come back to that later. For now, here's a few highlights of the data that you will see in your video stream. Here's another single pedestrian crossing our crosswalk. And as you can see, the pedestrian is being reported as expected in the data stream. Here we detect 3 different pedestrians, this time crossing from different sides of the street. Notice how unique and max also increased to 3, since those are the counts for those values seen in the last 60 seconds. Here's a pair of pedestrians crossing together with the expected values being shown in the data stream. And here's 7 pedestrians crossing from different directions. A moment later, those 7 are followed by 3 more. That plus 2 previous pedestrians gets our unique count up to 12 for the 60-second time period. And finally, we have our last 4 pedestrians crossing and the live view data showing what we expect to see. Now let's jump over to the history view. Click the refresh button and adjust the timescale to focus just on the data that displays in the history. Here you can spend some time exploring the different slices of data that was collected, noting the different values for current, unique, min, and max for the number of pedestrians using the crosswalk at each time slice. And that's it. Congratulations on building a Kibsi application that takes a video stream of a crosswalk and transforms that video into structured data. Now that you know your way around the Kibsi platform, here's some things you can try on your own. First, make a new camera stream for the site you created. But for this new stream, use the actual live video feed that's available for this camera, which I've shared as a link in the description. Then create a new deployment that uses that new live video feed. And while you're configuring the deployment, remember that second crosswalk that we said we'd come back to later? Well, go ahead and add another crosswalk item to your deployment for that second crosswalk. Then launch your deployment and watch the real-time live video stream be converted into structured data for both your crosswalks. And be sure to check out the other videos in our Getting Started series. Until next time, I'm Eric Miller from Kibsi. Thanks for watching.